Hi, class. I wanted to talk through the instructions for the term paper. The term paper is due at the very end of class, and so what with the project being due then as well and a final test, this course is weighted at the end. Um, Although I don't have a discussion um, in the or a quiz in the last week, so that opens things up a little bit. But still, there's a lot that comes at the end, so it's important that you manage your time properly. There's no reason not to start this paper now as you are working on your group project. And I realize that your load's probably a little bit lighter in that it's summer, but we also tend to be a little bit more relaxed for this kind of term, but let me get to the instructions. This paper is worth 150 points, so 15% of the grade, and it's due at the very end of the term, probably our last uh, day of class, not including the exam, so prior to the final exam date, and it's 4 to 5 pages. So I've noticed a trend along with other professors that students don't often exceed length requirements. Um, and you don't want to exceed any sort of word count boundary by much, but what you don't want to do is write a 2 to 3 page paper for this. Number one, you can't really get into much depth in that short of space, and you're missing the page requirement. So I'm not saying it has to be exactly between 4 and 5. It needs to be in that ballpark. But it's not a bad idea to at least meet the upper end of this requirement. It just gives you more space to make your points, etc. You'll write a paper examining one or a combination of the following 3 small group organizational topics. So to be clear, you can pick one of these, you can pick 2, or you can use all 3 in your paper. So roles, leadership, and or conflict, and by applying these to a real situation in your life. So this is an application paper. You're taking the concepts and theories from these 3 areas, and you're going to pick something real in your life to basically apply the concepts and answer whether how they apply to the particular situation that you're examining. Just make a note that we cover roles, we cover leadership, but I skipped the conflict chapter for this short term. So we will absolutely talk about conflict in the class, but we're not, it's not required in this class, but you've got the text. So I would certainly recommend that if you're including conflict in your paper to read that chapter and use that as a source. As far as sources go, you need a minimum of 3, and you can use the text as 1 and then a minimum of 2 other outside sources. Paper can examine any small group organizational situation involving roles, leadership, and or conflict within the context of family, a job, the college experience, an athletic team, etc., etc., etc. You don't need to okay your paper topic exactly with me. You don't need to get approval for that. And the last requirement is that you use APA formatting. So how's it going to be graded? I use 3 criteria to grade papers. form, content, and meeting of assignment requirements. Meeting of assignment requirements is pretty simple. Again, meet the page requirements. Make sure that you have 3 or more sources and use APA formatting, and examine any combination of the 3 areas above. Form it includes formatting, but also spelling, punctuation, grammar, etc. Double space, one-sided. It needs to look like a college paper, and it's a short paper, so there really shouldn't be a lot of mistakes in it. A few, no big deal, but it should be pretty clean. And then content is how good was your analysis, and the examples that you provided. Okay, so that's the assignment. Again, I'd encourage you to start working on this now, to start to put some ideas together and maybe an outline. And so when you get to the end of the term, you can finish it up pretty easily. We can tell when a paper's been written, the night before it's due. It's obvious. So, okay, come to me with any more questions.